All right. Hey, everyone. Let me see if I can switch this up. All right. Let me just move this over. All right. Mark here. Happy New Year, all that other stuff. Glad to see everyone back. Let's get this thing started, shall we? I changed my schedule a little bit. I'll talk about that real quick. I don't want to waste a lot of time. All right. So you know what we're going to do today? We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum on the day trade time frame, and in between to see if there are any setups. In between that, we're going to take a look at some bigger picture stuff as well. I'm going to try to keep the stream at about 35 minutes. Okay. So let's see if I can do that. All right. So first things first. Hold on a second. Let me get this thing going here. This is for educational purposes only. For investment advice, please consult a licensed investment advisor. All right. Now, so good again. Good to see everyone, and hope you had a nice holiday. So as we can see, first I just want to mention a couple of things. Yeah. So my schedule. Yeah. Let me just adjust this chart real quick. My schedule. I'm changing my schedule a bit. Let me just move this over to Ethereum. Let's see. No, that one's good. Okay. So we're going to keep this here. That's a 30-minute Ethereum, by the way. We're going to switch this over to a 30-minute Bitcoin here in a moment. So first thing I want to mention is, yeah, I'm not going to be streaming every single day anymore. Okay, here, let me move this thing out of the way. Because it's just, I need to invest that time into other things for the community and things like that. So my time is not best spent here streaming. Okay, so I'm going to be streaming on Wednesdays. All right, at this time, basically 9:30, 9:45 a.m. Eastern time. And on Mondays, I'll be streaming only on, I'll be on TradingView and on YouTube at 3 p.m. Eastern time. That's the new schedule. So keep that in mind. Okay, guys, I'm not going to be streaming every day. So Wednesdays, like I said, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm just on here on Wednesdays. Okay, so now also, if you guys aren't familiar with my training program, anyone that's new that may be watching this, check it out at markpmarkets.com. Okay, that really is, you want to figure out how to navigate these markets objectively. I put that program together for exactly that. It's starting with the bigger picture. Okay, we're going to be talking about day trades in this stream. And that's really, for the beginner, the absolutely wrong way to go. Okay, I'm basically like everything that all the fake gurus say. I'm on the complete opposite side, because I know reality, and I want you to also be familiar with reality. All right, so let me make these charts bigger, and let's get this thing going here. All right, so we'll move over to this one over here. All right, now, so let's start with we're going to start with the day trader mindset first, okay? And that's where we're going to be looking at. I'm going to start with Bitcoin. And the thing is here, and in fact, what I'll do is I will switch this chart here to a 30-minute for now, okay? This chart on the right. You guys should be able to see my charts okay? Okay. Now, the idea behind this first is step one. For most of you are students, so you guys should be familiar with step one, and that is we're looking for trends, right? We're looking for the general trend on the 30-minute. Now, I've had someone recently, come in, and he's mixing a lot of this stuff up, and I keep telling him, you can't mix these time frames. You can't look at the bigger picture and then say, oh, that trend applies to this. It doesn't. As a day trader, we're only interested in momentum. So momentum means we need to see our short-term stuff, okay? Short-term, meaning, when it comes to day trades, today and maybe yesterday. That's it, okay? Nothing more than that, because we're only interested in the short-term momentum. Now, as I've been talking about, in my TradingView articles, there hasn't been much activity, right, over these holiday weeks, and I warned people about this. It's not worth putting the time into. Now, how do I know? Do I have some kind of magical way of knowing this? No, I have a lot of experience, and I know that in a bear market, there's no interest in these markets to begin with. So, do you think there's going to be more interest during a holiday period? No. In fact, this week, people are trying to get all excited and optimistic. There's no reason to. We're just coming off the holiday, and we have NFP on Friday. Do you think there's going to be all kinds of amazing activity going into that? I don't think so. Low volume means we're going to see a lot of random a lot of random price action. Okay, so with that, oh, hey, go forth. No, I'm not looking in these streams, in this particular stream. It's not like a trading view stream. I'm going over basically Ethereum and Bitcoin from the day trade time frame. And I'm just gonna look at some of the other major markets like the dollar and the euro and something like that. But the idea here is really for day trade setups. Okay. So it's not like one of those streams. I'll do that on Monday. So save that question for Monday. Okay. So again, we're looking here at the 30-minute chart here on Bitcoin, and the idea is to get a sense of context. Okay, so what do you guys see here? I see a low over here. Okay, I see another higher low over here. I see another one over here. I see another higher low over here. Okay, not only that, but I see consistent higher highs. So this general structure here, even though the bigger picture is against this thing, generally, it doesn't matter. This thing is bullish. Okay, this structure is bullish. So as a day trader, I'm interested in buying at support levels and selling at resistance levels to take profits. Going short in something like this is counter trend. Although short opportunities can exist, they can develop like something like that. But the thing is, you cannot expect much from them. All right. So if we've determined that this structure is bullish, we should be expecting more from longs and less from shorts. Does that mean we should avoid shorts altogether? No, you can still be open to the short idea. You just have to have lower expectations. Now, look at this structure right here. Okay, that's a nice little push up there. And we have, notice, right now we're going into step 2 where we're looking at levels. Notice we have an old resistance right here. Okay, now these intraday levels, by the way, carry a lot less weight than the bigger picture. It's something to keep in mind as well. Now, so this is our support level. Okay, this old resistance is now our new support. That's basically 16.7. We're going to say 16.750. We're going to round that. Doesn't have to be exact, but that general area. Right now we're at 813, so we're slightly off of that area. Okay, so that area that I just notated there, that is really where we should be looking for day trades on the long side. Now, if you notice, the market doesn't exactly agree with that. The market finds buying activity earlier around the 782 area. Okay, so I have to keep that in mind as a very minor support where, just basically anywhere in this zone, okay, is an area where I should be looking for longs, okay, long setups. So that's pretty much our game plan. Now, of course, all of you who are students, you know the specific candlestick setups I look for, and that will happen on the 5-minute chart, okay, not on the 30-minute. The 30-minute gives us our general game plan, our general, expectations. This is where we get our expectations from. Also, we have our resistance levels up in here. So that's how we're going to determine potential take profit areas, okay, or like this area right here. But really, taking profits should have to do more with a function of your risk more than a technical level. Every fake guru will give you a level, okay? I'm the only one that will tell you it's a function of your risk. Now, if you're going to go short, or if we were going to be looking for shorts in this situation, because we know this thing is generally strong, then we need an extreme level. We're not going to go sit here, double top. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to be looking way up here, okay, if there's going to be any type of short activity, if we're willing to take a chance on that. Now, I have a line drawn there. So let's just look back and see what that line connects to. Look at this, right? So that's obviously a level dating back quite a few days. So there is good reason for selling activity to appear up there because we have historical evidence of that, okay? So if I'm going to look for a day trade short, that should be the place. No sooner, because we are in a bullish trend. So all the morons that start shorting it over here are blind and they cannot see, what's in front of them. This is a very bad area to short, that rectangle that I just had there. So look, we have our levels predetermined. Looking for longs in this lower area, looking for shorts up here. It's that simple. There's nothing else you need to know. You don't need to look at any oscillators. You don't need to look at any moving averages. All of that is nonsense, okay? So now that we have our game plan, everything that I just described is going to apply to Ethereum because Ethereum follows Bitcoin, okay? It doesn't lead Bitcoin. It's just a follower. It may have movements that are slightly more exaggerated at times, but it's a follower. So that means that I don't need to redo this analysis on the Ethereum chart. I can just trade Ethereum off of my Bitcoin plan. You need to be efficient in this game, and you need to do more with less. Okay, I was going to say less with more with less. That goes for everything in this game. Okay, less is more. I can't emphasize that enough. All right, people don't like that idea. They think more is better, and it's not. And the industry and everyone has us convinced that more is better. You will find out the hard way that it's not. In a game where 99% of the information that's given to you is garbage. That's why less is more. All right. Now, while we're waiting for the market to give us some sort of something to do, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this. I'm going to change this chart over here. Right, we're going to change that to BTC perp. Okay, and we're going to. Is that right? What happened here? Oh, I have the wrong thing set up here. Let me just switch to that. Okay, so we'll go to our Binance. Okay, and we're going to switch this over to the 5-minute. And now we have an idea. We basically, with our game plan, we have an idea. I'm not going to have to redraw all those levels. What I'll do is I'll just match this one, 750, 16,750. So where is that? That's right. So I'm going to put this line over here. That's basically where we're looking for our lows, somewhere around there. Okay. So right now, what do we do with this? Anything? No, we don't react. We know our levels. We know our game plan. There's nothing to do now. People may say, oh, but look, you have a pin bar right here. We should go short. You missed that, if anything. And that, like I said before, that's within this area here. That's a bad area for shorts. Okay, so I'm not really interested in that area. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. Now we're going to monitor Bitcoin as it starts to do its thing here. Now let's go to our bigger picture. What I want to do, we're going to go to our daily chart over here. Okay, and this is while Bitcoin is trying to give us an opportunity or something, it may not give us anything to do. But while we're waiting, I want to highlight some other things here. Okay, so first of all, the bigger picture. Okay, let's just take a look at a few things here. First, like I've been talking about, this entire area has been really nothing but overlap. Okay, overlap. The price just keeps overlapping. Now, how many of you, this is a question for everyone, how many of you have watched videos or seen titles that basically every time there's some type of reaction, they over exaggerate further in that way, right? Like when you have a candle like this, everyone's calling for longs, right? How many people have you seen that? Or when you see this, everyone's, oh, Bitcoin, this is it. Bitcoin's going to zero now. Bitcoin, the sell-off is coming and blah, blah, blah. How many times have you seen that over this 2-week period? I've seen it a few times. Okay. So again, it goes to show you how mindless and how ignorant people are. Because if you're still believing those titles, I mean, none of you should be because you're following me and I've been telling you a million times, but there are a lot of mindless, ignorant people out there. And the good news is we need those people because they're the ones that take the other side of our trades, right? And that's who we profit from. We don't profit from market makers. We don't profit from some imaginary banker who, we're taking his money. No, we're profiting from retail traders who have no idea what they're doing. That is how this game works. That is how this game always worked. Okay. So my point is, and if you read my TradingView articles, I've been saying this area is nothing but overlap. It's a waste of time and not worth looking at. That's why I've taken these weeks off. I don't even pull up my S&Ps because there's no point. Okay. It's a waste of time. Now, speaking of S&Ps, so hold on, before I move on to that, Bitcoin, as you can see, is still inside of this consolidation. My recent swing trade short was off of this level here, the pin bar, and I've had nothing since then, nothing, because the market doesn't call for anything. You can't force trades. What is this? Is this a bad tick? You see that right to the line? What is that all about? Okay, anyway, so that's Bitcoin. It's gone nowhere. It's going nowhere. It hasn't proven anything. You cannot take swing trades in this vicinity. It's a highly random area. So if I'm interested in any trades, as I've talked about in my student meeting, right, it's basically we either get like the triple bottom possibility, or we get another test of resistance. That's it. Those are the only two scenarios I'm looking for. Otherwise, don't waste your time, okay, as a swing trader. Now, let's take a look at some of the markets here, because again, people seem to think that Bitcoin trades in isolation. It does not. Let's take a look at the bond market, okay? I pointed this out as well, ZN1. Now, this is holiday trade. So a lot of the price action that occurs here, you can't really take very seriously. So we had basically this pullback into the midpoint, as I had talked about. Now look where we are now, okay? It basically bounced off of there, but does that really mean anything? Look at the weekly chart, okay? This is where we are on the weekly chart. Does this trend look bullish to you? Not yet. This could be the beginning. This could be a higher low developing, but this is a weekly. We still have a couple more days to go for this thing to prove itself, and we're going right into non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payrolls can turn this thing around in an instant, okay? So that's why you can't really take this price action seriously. You can't jump to any conclusions. All we know for sure is we have a resistance over here, okay? And we have a resistance over here. And this resistance where I drew that line, stuck. Okay, look, Bitcoin's doing something interesting now. Let's see. Hold on. And it keeps interrupting me, but I have to keep an eye on it. All right, nothing to do yet. Okay. I don't know what that long tail, I don't know if that was a bad tick. Possibly it was. All right. But so I'm going to ignore that long tail. Anyway, all right. So we'll see. We'll see if anything develops there. Again, there's nothing there for day trades right now. So back to the bond market. Right, as long as the bond market cannot take out this resistance here, as long as it cannot, I have to assume that it's still bearish. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and start doing all kinds of analysis. Oh, it's a higher low. It doesn't mean anything. If we can't take out resistance levels, it doesn't mean anything. So if that resistance holds and we basically start pushing these lows again, it means rates are rising. I mean, look, you can look at the US 10, right? US 10 yield chart. Okay. You guys ever take, it's the inverse of this chart, basically, right? It's the inverse. Look at this. I mean, that's a bullish trend, okay? And there's a higher low, just like we saw the lower high on the bearish trend. This is the inverse because yields are opposite prices on the bonds. So if this thing continues higher, right, the rates pulled back slightly today, okay, whatever, what is the current rate is at 3.694%, whatever. This thing holds and starts working its way higher, that means yields are rising. Rising yields are bad for everything, okay? That has not changed. So there's still waiting for some evidence of change in the bond market, and there's nothing there. All right, let's now take a look at, real quick, I want to take a look at the dollar, because the dollar, we're looking at holiday price action here. I have all these lines drawn on the dollar. See that? This is all support, this is support area. And look at the mess that's occurring here with the candles. Okay, I mean, it's just a mess over here. It tries to go lower, then we get a day like yesterday, right? And then we're getting like this inside bar. It's just a lot of noise. But if this holds here, right, and this continues to hold, refuses to break, and NFP comes out dollar bullish, you see the vertical spike on here, that's it, right? The dollar starts to rally, you're going to see the pain start to develop and everything else. Now, keep in mind, this is not one-to-one. So the dollar can fool around. The dollar can start working its way higher or whatever, and all these things. And other things may take a little time to catch up. Again, keep in mind, we're in a low volume environment right now. All right. And the volume is not going to pick up before NFP, right? It'll pick up after NFP. So next week, we should probably see an increase in average volume or more consistent volume, not sporadic like we are right now. Okay, so again, it's very important for your trade decisions. Now, so if you look at that, so the euro, right? The other night, look at the euro pulling back. Okay, but this is what I suspected. Right? I suspected we'd get something like this. Why? Because we're going into NFP and volume is light. So how far is this thing going to go? Right? So that's why I wasn't reacting to that. I wanted to see if we got what we're getting now, the inside bar. So that's what I wanted to see. This is our setup to go short. All right. Steven sent me a message, said, double top in the dollar. And sorry, Steven, I wasn't able to get back to you, but I saw the message and I missed that setup over here. Right. But this is going into all the holiday stuff. I'm not likely to take a setup like that. Right. But we do have a double top. If we get the inside bar, And, you know, we may have to take a trade going into NFP, which I'm not a big fan of doing, but if NFP comes out dollar bullish, this thing's going to get hammered, right? That's the idea. And I'm only looking for a couple of hundred pips on something like this, which is a reasonable pullback, okay? So those are the main markets I wanted to go over. Now, all right, so with that being said, you guys have any questions? Any questions about the markets, the general markets? Let's go back here to Bitcoin. All right, let's switch it over now back to our, let's go to our 5-minute chart on Bitcoin. Okay, let's open up the chart here a bit. And now let's start compare. We're gonna keep this. This is the what do you call it? The Bitstamp chart. It's the spot chart, and this is over here. This is the Binance the futures chart. I'm going to switch this one. Actually, we're going to move this one over here. We're going to make this one the BTC perp. Okay, and we're going to put Ethereum on the other side here. Okay, so there's same chart. Now we're going to switch this one over here to Ethereum because I want to see if we can find a setup in Ethereum. You know, either one or the other. Let's see. So here's, all right. So the charts are going to look the same. Okay. Oh, I forgot to look at the S&P. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me put the S&P back up on here. 1440. All right. SPX. Actually, we could use the NASDAQ. NSX USD. All right. This is, again, important to pay attention to. And this is going to be a function of interest rates, really. Okay, is what it comes to. This is the NASDAQ. All right. So look, we have the lower high in place. This is not exactly bullish, right? Now, I always see some talk. January there tends to be optimism in January, and usually this optimism proliferates in the small cap sector. So typically they say wherever the small caps go in January, it basically sets the tone for the year. That's nice, but that's assuming the market's generally bullish, right? And we're not fighting a rising rate market. We have rising rates. So all that nonsense, you can just throw it out the window, okay? Look at this, right? We have lower high. This thing may find a higher low. We're still fooling around near these lows. This thing is likely to break, okay? If rates continue to push or sit where they are and they just put pressure on this market, it's likely to break. That's why I keep telling people, there's no reason to be optimistic. So stop with if you're like one of those holiday optimistic people and everything is going to be okay, and you listen to like optimistic music, it's not going to help you in the market. Okay, we need to be realistic. We need to be objective, right? It's not being pessimistic. It's being objective and recognizing what the market is telling us. That's what it's telling us. So I point this out. Now I'll go back to the Bitcoin chart. I point this out because I have my speculative portfolio that I wrote about yesterday in the chat, and that's going to be available only to the active investors in the chat. And I put some information in there, so just some starting parameters. And the speculative portfolio is going to consist. It's a high risk portfolio. Okay, the goal is to basically find cheap stocks or cheap altcoins. A combination of cheap stocks or cheap altcoins, and basically put a maximum amount of $10,000 to work to see if we can grow a nice portfolio and build some inventory while the market is still generally bearish. Okay. Okay. Hey, boxing. Well, no, I'm not doing that here. This is mostly like a day trade setup situation here. I'm not really running through like requests. That's on Monday. So ask me on Monday. Okay. But thank you for asking the question. So, the speculative portfolio, let me just talk about that real quick. So I'm going to start, I have a bunch of stocks that I've been watching. These are more of a fundamental play. The speculative portfolio is basically a 1 to 3 year investment, 1 to 3 years. Okay. So it's not a swing trade. I'm not going to be using stop loss orders to manage the risk in that portfolio. It's going to be strategically sized. We're going to build inventory very strategically. Mostly I'm going to be using limit orders, okay, to get involved, and people will see how I do that. But the point is, I split that portfolio up into 3 segments. All right. So there's the moderate risk, there's the high risk, and then there's the ultra high risk. For those of you that are in the channel, you can see the percentage allocations that I have predetermined. So as you can see, I'm going into this with a plan. It's highly organized. I'm not sitting there saying, oh, this one sounds good. Now, the other thing is, I don't expect to be fully I don't expect to have that thing fully invested for at least 6 to 9 months. Okay, 6 to 9 months. So that means that there'll be money basically sitting on the sidelines, especially if we have any unique opportunities in the market where there's any major sell-offs. If there happens to be, people always ask, well, what do you think of the forecast for the new year? Stop with that. Okay, stop with that. It's nonsense. Go back to a year ago and see all the magical forecasts and all the 2022, the year of Bitcoin. We're going to see Bitcoin go to 100K. How many times have you seen that? Okay. We cannot forecast the future with any kind of degree of accuracy. So we have to look at certain factors, and we have to look at things that we know are on the schedule. Okay. We know that we're going to see some legislative changes in the Bitcoin space. We know that. Okay, the regulatory agencies have been very vocal about that. So that's something we can expect. Is that going to be a good thing or a bad thing? No way to know. But we know that there's going to be some changes. Okay, so that's something you can expect. We have a presidential election going to be starting up. Okay, next year, 2024 is the election, but you're going to start to see more and more talk of that. That's going to affect things in the market. Okay, it could potentially affect things. So you have to look at, my point is, you have to look at things that scheduled things that can affect the market. Also keep in mind, unexpected things can just come out of nowhere. Remember, a year ago, February, right? The whole Ukraine situation, no one was expecting that. No one was calling that. Okay, in November, we had FTX. No one was expecting that. There were some people, but no one listened to them. Okay, the market was not expecting that. So keep in mind, there will be events that are just unexpected. And since the market generally we're in a rising rate environment, the surprises are likely to be bearish, not bullish. Okay, because there's generally bearish pressure on this market. Okay, so you have to realize that. Now, it doesn't mean a bullish thing can't happen, but we have to look at what probability favors. So like if a piece of good news comes out, the market may not rally or benefit as much as it will move if a piece of bearish news comes out. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? So please, that's where your minds should be. Not, oh, I'm going to find the magical stock of 2023. Okay, stop with that. If you're one of those people, I can't help you. Okay, if you follow nonsense and dreams. Okay, so that's what I want to say about that. So the whole idea between with the speculative portfolio is I'm going to start putting some stocks, and the altcoins I'm holding off on. I can tell you right now, Bitcoin and Ethereum will be part of the portfolio. Okay, I'm just not sure which segment I'm going to put them in yet, but they will both, even though they're the same trade. There's a variety of reasons why I'm choosing both of those. Okay, but Ethereum's an altcoin, Bitcoin is more like gold. I'm treating them that way. And then I'm going to be extremely selective on the altcoins. Any altcoin, besides Ethereum, any altcoin is definitely going into the ultra high risk category, which theoretically is only 15% or $1,500 worth in my portfolio. Another thing I have to tell you is, if all you have is $10,000 to invest, this is a bad portfolio for you. It's not a good idea. That means you should basically take the proportions. If all you have is $10,000, that means you should only be taking 10% of that, which is $1,000, and then splitting it up across that way. Okay, you're only investing 1,000 instead of the 10,000. It's 10%. So basically, if you have 100,000, then this portfolio that I'm showing you, that I'm basically going to be developing over the next few months, that is basically 10%. You understand? So don't sit there, I only have $5,000. I'm going to put all 5,000. No, that means you're only putting $500 in. Does that make sense? That's called responsible risk management. All right. Okay. So I just wanted to mention that. And I'm not using leverage. No leverage. Another thing, keep that in mind. I'll put all these details in the channel as well. I just wanted to run it by you guys since you guys are listening to me here in real time. So at least you get some, you get some introduction to it. All right, so let's talk about what's going on here. Because I talk too much. We have a bullish pin bar that's actually in play here on Bitcoin. Now, can I take that on Ethereum? This is, yeah, you know what? Just for the sake of the example, let's give it a try because I haven't put on any trades in a while. It's basically the area. It's coming off the area. All right, my Ethereum chart is selected. Let's buy 2 contracts. Okay. Now this is Ethereum. All right. So this actually I should have done the perp on there, but all right, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is a paper trade anyway. These are paper trades, by the way, on these streams. I'm not doing this with real money. Make sure that you understand that. Okay. Don't take this for real. So I got long, right? Basically, the long was based on this. I'm a little bit behind because I should have been long a little earlier, okay? But it's based on this right here, okay? Now, I took Ethereum, and I took it based on the Bitcoin signal, okay? Because Bitcoin is the leader. So the thing is, I'm in this trade. What do I do, right? What do I do now? Where do I get out of this thing? What's my target? What's my risk? Well, my risk is actually going to be based on this right here, okay? What price is that? That's 12.45, okay? So basically what I can do is I can go in here and put a stop, right? Oh, let me go over here, right? And I can adjust this and I can put a stop, right? And basically it says, I can adjust it by price. That says 12.50. So I can put 12.45. Okay, so if that's the case, that's basically what, 10 points, right? 10 points and 60 cents from where I entered. So that means my profit target needs to be at minimum 10 points. As a day trader, you really should be doing better than 1-to-1. There are some very specific reasons for that. So we're going to put here 15 points, okay? Actually, let's make it 20 points. It's 2-to-1. Now, am I going to achieve that? I don't know, but that's the order placement after I get in. As a day trader, often you don't have the luxury to just place all the orders before you get in. That's more of a luxury of a swing trader. So a lot of times you're forced to take a market order. I don't like that. I prefer to put a stop order to get into the market, but as you can see here, I had no time to even do that, right? So, but you can place the other one. Once you're in, you have to place these other orders. So I have my stop, right? And I have my target. So 12.45 is the stop, right? 12.60 is the target. Where am I at right now? 12.51. So is that right? Yeah. And where am I long from? Let me see. 12.50. So 10 points. Okay, that's actually take profit. I need to adjust that to 20 points. Why did it do that? Oh, because I guess I typed in 20 over here. So I want to put in the price. Okay, so it really should be 12.70. Okay, so it says 40 points. Those may mean the way those points may be calculated may not be the way I'm thinking that they're calculated. So anyway, I want 70 points. I want 20 points, right? And I want to risk 10 or 15. That's really where I want my reward risk to be, something like that. Now, hold on here. Let me shrink this here. So I'm looking for 12.70. Okay, where is that? Let's put that on the chart here. 12.70 is way up here. Okay, this is 12.70. Is that thing going to get all the way up there? Not while I'm streaming. Okay, it's going to take a while if it's going to go there. But the point is, if this thing, we've determined earlier that the general trend is bullish. So theoretically, this thing should work its way up into this area, right? Theoretically. So there's a chance it can get there, right? And that's what I want to see. That's what I want to give the market a chance to do. Now, we can do something like this. We can switch this over to a 15-minute, and we can just see, like, on the bigger picture, just the context, right? If this high or low stays intact, we're looking at, there's going to be some problems in this area right here, as we can see. Look at the tail. All right. So if this thing can make it up into that area and it gives me a hard time, I have the option of exiting early. this price that I put up here, right? That's ideal. That's ideal. So don't know if we're going to get there, right? Don't sit there and expect that if the market shows us otherwise. So this we need to know where to anticipate trouble, and this is the area to anticipate trouble. All right. So we may get trouble sooner, but if we get trouble in this area and you're basically at 1-to-1, don't be afraid to take the money off the table. Right. So I'm basically giving you the mindset here. Okay. And that's it. So I have 2 contracts on. Now I'm not going to be able to demonstrate all this because I gotta wrap this up here in a minute. But the point is this: with 2 contracts, I can exit one, right? So let's say I'm at 1-to-1, which I'm not there right now. But let's say I get to 1-to-1, right? And I just want to get out of one just to lock in. You can do that, okay? And then give the other one a chance to ride and see if it reaches the full target. It's usually not a good idea to try to hold both. Again, if you're in the mindset of trying to maximize your profit, you're making a mistake, okay? That's just greed. And you need to get over that mindset quickly because you will never win by doing stuff like that, all right? All these other people that try to glamorize this, that's all they're doing. They're just trying to glamorize it to capture your attention, and that's it. That's all nonsense. You need to reduce risk as soon as you can, okay? In this game, in order to win, you need to be good at defense, not at offense, all right? Offense, or profits, it's a very random thing, okay? Because we have no control over that. But defense, we can control. We can control our losses. So that's where you need to be an expert, really, is defense, okay? And that's what I'm trying to show you here. All right, so that's pretty much what. Let this thing run for another minute, and see. I don't really expect it to go anywhere, but I just wanted to give that a try and see like just what kind of price action we got out of it. But as you can see, it's just it's not really doing anything. Let's just go back to our 15-minute chart, okay, and just see how that thing, what it's doing. All we know is we bought near the lower part of this consolidation, right? And we have to see if it can test the high part and break through, okay? And that can take a couple of hours, okay? And I'm not going to sit here for a couple of hours. So I'm going to leave those orders in that I put in, and we'll see the outcome. It'll reach one order or the other. It's going to reach one or the other, and then we'll have an idea of how this thing would have worked out over time. Okay. You guys have any questions? Any questions I can answer real quick? So again, if you ask me about a symbol, come back on Monday at 3 o'clock Eastern time. That's when I do my regular stream where you can ask me about whatever market you want me to check. But this was more for like just day trade instruction, and also I'll look at some of the bigger picture on some of these things to set realistic expectations. Okay. Any questions, you guys? All right. I don't see any questions. Okay, cool. So, hey, everyone, I hope you got something out of this. Thank you for stopping by. Again, if you're not in my free Discord community, check it out. There's a link in the description. And, again, I'm going to be putting some more stuff in there for the active investors. So be watching there for the next few weeks. I have a couple of my first couple of things I have in mind I'm going to be putting in there, okay, and how to basically manage those positions, okay. All right, you guys, so hey, thanks for stopping by. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of your evening, wherever you are in the world, and thanks for watching.